Hello and welcome to the next video in the Daniel Game Studios Unreal Engine 5 tutorial series. In this episode, will be more of a shorter one as we will be going over the landscaping tool and more specifically creating a landscape in Unreal Engine. First things first, we're going to create a new level by right-clicking anywhere in the content browser and then selecting level. Now I will do an example. Now you can open up that level, hit save selected there. You will now load into this. If you don't see this place actors panel, you can go window, place actors, but I already do see it. So I'm going to do light, You're looking for something called directional light. You drag that in, and now you also want a sky atmosphere. You can find that under visual effects. This is just so we have lighting in our scene. Next thing, we are going to go into the landscaping mode. And then from the landscaping, whenever you go up here, right underneath example where the map is, you can hit select mode and then do landscape mode. That will launch up this window over here and you will see this green area around here. First things first, whenever you see this, yours will probably look like this if you haven't messed with it. But you can also press Shift 2 on your keyboard to change to the landscape tool at any time. The first time you open the landscape tool, you will automatically be taken to the Manage Modes tab. If you do not have any other landscape actors currently in your level, you will be prompted to create one. In the Landscape Manage mode, you can create new landscapes and modify existing landscapes and their components. Tip: if your level already contains one or more landscapes, the Landscape tab will look different. The Landscape Editor section will display a drop-down menu with the selection tool visible. From this drop-down menu, you can select a landscape to work with. Creating a new landscape using the Landscape tool. You create a new landscape from scratch from the New Landscape section of the Landscape Tools panel. So if you go to Manage, there's New. The two most important options here are section size and sections per component. Section size is here, sections per component is here. The section size, landscapes utilize section size for the levels of detail and culling. Landscapes with similar sections can have more optimized LEDs, but at a higher CPU cost. Larger sections have fewer components and are less costly on the CPU. If you want to have a large landscape, you'll need to use a larger section size, since using a smaller section size and then scaling up the landscape will heavily increase the cost on the CPU. The sections per component are utilized by the landscape for levels of detail. Each section is the basic unit for landscape level of detail. One component could have 2x2 sections, which means that it's possible for one component to be rendering 4 different levels of detail at once. With larger section size, you get the added benefit of reduced CPU calculation time. However, you might run into issues with the landscape rendering too many vertices at once. This could be especially prevalent when using very large areas of landscape. These issues could be even worse on mobile devices because of the limited amount of draw calls you have due to hardware limitations. For this tutorial, I'm going to be using 63 by 63 quads in 1x1 sections with 8 components each. Note: be careful when choosing section size because as the number of components increase, build times and performance can be dramatically affected. 63 by 63 quads per section is generally recommended as it gives good performance and size. When completed, you should have something that looks like this in your new landscape properties box. In the main viewport, there should be a preview of the new landscape you are setting up, which should look like the following. Tip: landscape actors can move, rotate, and scale like any other actor. You can assign a material to your landscape when you create it. To do so, select an appropriate material in the content browser and then assign it to the new landscape section next to material by clicking the assign arrow icon. Though in this tutorial we will not be doing that as I have not gone over creating a landscape material yet. I may do that in the next episode if you want me to. When you are ready to create your new landscape, click the Create button in the lower right corner of the Landscape Tools panel. The landscape will appear in the viewport as a flat plane. If you assign a material to it, it will appear with material applied. If not, it will use the level editor's default material. Note, it can take a few seconds to create, but that was basically instant. With your new landscape now created, you can start to sculpt or paint the landscape to your liking. More information will be coming up in following tutorials. Thanks again for watching my video to the end. If you like my work, please feel free to subscribe, comment, and leave a like. If you would like any further tips and tricks, feel free to watch the playlist that should be appearing now. Thanks for watching and have a good day. Bye.